Welcome. This is John Swearingen Jr., Coffee with the Curator at the Museum of Fulton County. And today I'm in the gallery on Memorial Day. This is the Civil War exhibit behind me, which you can see any day of the week that we're open, Monday through Friday from 10 to 4 and Saturdays from noon to 4. And the reason I picked this exhibit is because we want to talk about Memorial Day, and this ribbon right here from our collection is from the Baxter unit of the GAR from Lyons, Ohio. GAR is the initials for Grand Army of the Republic, which was the veterans organization from the Civil War. So when all those gentlemen were passed away, that organization ceased to exist and the American Legion was created during World War I. So this is the type of ribbon that I would have worn if I was a veteran during the Memorial Day parades in Fulton County. Every town had a parade of some sort. And I also would have worn this black ribbon at the funeral of one of my comrades from the Civil War. But the unit I want to talk about today is not from Lyons, Ohio, but from Fayette. The rifles behind me here in this display from a camp scene that we've recreated are from Fayette. And the GAR there, when it disbanded, gave us all the rifles from the GAR. And 6 of the rifles are here, and the 7th one is right here in front of me, which I thought would be a good way of showing this off to you. This is a French rifle. And so why did we have a French rifle in an American Civil War? Well, we've had a long history with the French. During the Revolutionary War, we had asked them to help us fight the English, which they were happy to do because they weren't very happy with the English. But unfortunately, we didn't have any money to pay them at the end of the war. So things went really sour in France, and the economy tanked, and it was somewhat our fault, which led to a revolution and the beheading of the king. Then Napoleon Bonaparte came into power, and then of course we all know at Waterloo he met his end, and he had by that point had named himself Emperor or King of France. And so the monarchy was restored, and King Louis Philippe during this time period was king when there was another revolution, and this rifle is from 1848 during that time period. So why did it end up in America? Well, the reason is because when our Civil War started, we thought it was just a small 3-month skirmish with the South, and that everything would be restored quickly, and it wasn't. And so rifles like this from France and Germany were imported quickly to both the Confederacy and the Union. This particular rifle had belonged to Archibald Dryden in the New York OVI unit. And somehow during the war, he either passed away or was decommissioned, and this rifle ended up in the hands of one of our soldiers from Fayette. His name was Franklin Macias, and this was his rifle. And so this shoots mini balls. If you know what a mini ball is, it's a round lead ball, and this is an example of a mini ball producing device. You would clamp this shut, and at your camps you could pour lead into this small hole at the top, and it would form a lead ball, a mini ball. When you opened it, the ball would fall out, and then you'd have some ammunition. That was common during many of the wars that we were involved with. So the most important thing about this unit was that they were all from this 38th Infantry. And the 38th Infantry is very interesting because they started at the beginning of the war in 1861 and made it all the way through the Southern campaign of the Civil War, and were all the way with Sherman and the March to the Sea, and they were in Atlanta, They went back to Richmond after the Appomattox courthouse surrender and ended up marching with this rifle in downtown Washington, D.C. and paraded in front of Abraham Lincoln. And he's in this display also when you come to the museum to see it. And then, of course, he was assassinated just a few months after this parade. So today we want to remember all of these soldiers, not just from the Civil War, but all of our battle wars that we were involved with up to the present. And hope that you're all having a great Memorial Day and remember the purpose for this day. Thank you. This was John Swearingen Jr. signing off from the Museum of Fulton County in Fulton County, Ohio, in Waseon at 8848 Ohio 108, exit 34 if you're coming on the Ohio Turnpike.